لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. وقل رب زدني علما. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم القصاص في القتلى الحر بالحر والعبد بالعبد والأنثى بالأنثى فمن عفي له من أخيه شيء فاتباع بالمعروف وأداء إليه بإحسان ذلك تخفيف من ربكم ورحمة فمن اعتدى بعد ذلك فله عذاب أليم ولكم في القصاص حياة يا أولي الألباب لعلكم تتقون. صدق الله مولانا العظيم. So now, as mentioned previously, the general principles of bir righteousness were mentioned, and now, as we mentioned, that the rest of the surah is basically a detailed description of the various categories of righteousness, which include all the various ahkam al-sharia, the various rules and regulations, major rules and regulations of sharia, starting now with qisas, retaliation for bodily injury. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykum al-qisas fil qatla, that, O you who believe, obviously, again, the narrative is directed towards the people of Iman, because they benefit. People who don't have Iman, they don't benefit from the call from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for obedience. It is only the people of Iman who will heed this call and obey. So, people of Iman, qisas, retaliation, has been prescribed. Kutiba alaykum, it has been prescribed, it has been written upon you. In other words, it has been made law upon you. Fil qatla, in terms of those who have been killed, murdered. So this is dealing with homicide. And this is dealing with culpable homicide, intentional homicide, where the person has actually killed someone intentionally. Okay. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions al-hurr bil-hurri wal-abdu bil-abdi wal-untha bil-untha. A free man for a free man, a slave for a slave, a woman for a woman. So what does that mean? What that refers to is the non-proportionate retaliation that the people of Jahiliyyah used to exercise. In other words, if it was a strong tribe and their slave was killed, they said, well, we're killing a free man for our slave, because our slave equals a free man among you. Right? And if our woman is killed, then we'll kill a man from you, because our woman is worth a man from your side. So obviously this is not, this is not justice of any way, shape, or form. Justice is, who has killed, he will be killed. Whoever, whatever status he might be, whatever gender he might be, whatever, the killer is to be killed, not somebody else who is out of the equation, who is not guilty of that crime. So this is negating that. That also takes place, in tribal and gang, culture. If one of our persons are killed, we'll kill 10 of yours. Or our brother is killed, and so we're going to kill somebody from your tribe. This is not how it works. It is the person who's guilty, he's held responsible. Okay. فَمَنْ عُفِيَ لَهُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ شَيْءٌ. So now, is retaliation mandatory that the killer must be killed, or he can be excused? Now, this is an interesting aspect of Sharia, that, here the courts decide, what's going to take place in terms of, homicide, etc. Actually, in Sharia, so the affair is actually handed over to the inheritors of the killed. It's going to be carried out by the court. In other words, the inheritors of the killed one are not going to be given authority to take retribution themselves, but they are given the option to either have retribution taken through the qadi and through the state legislature, or they can excuse that killer. They can excuse him for what we call fidya, They can also excuse him and let him off totally. That's up to them. Okay. So if that takes place, that he is actually excused by the inheritors of the killed, then the dia or the recompense, that is the retribution money, which is to be paid, which we call it dia, that is to be handed over in all equity. It should be handed over. Thankfully that the inheritors have excused him, and so he should hasten and give this money. In all accordingly, and at the same time, if the inheritors have excused the killer, now they don't chase him and harass him also. So from both sides of the party, so equity and etiquette and mutual respect is to be observed in every case, whether from the side of the killer or the side of the killed. ذلك تخفيف من ربكم ورحمة, and that is a takhfif. Takhfif means a lightening of the legislature from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from your Lord, from your Rabb, and it's a special mercy. So, so anyone after this very just and equitable legislature from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, anyone who further transgresses, he can be expecting a very severe punishment. وَلَكُمْ فِي الْقِصَاصِ حَيَاةٌ يَا أُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Subhanallah. We have this issue, of capital punishment, and they call it, a terrible injustice, how you're killing. We should, So what about the fellow who killed? He didn't do injustice? So it's a lopsided, justice system. Actually, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, in this laws of retribution is life. It seems to be that we're taking a life, but actually we are providing life. When capital punishment is in place and it's observed properly, and the people of the society are basically people of taqwa, so these laws safeguard society. They will stop many killers from killing. They'll think twice. If I'm going to be killed, I'm going to be careful. Otherwise, there's no capital punishment. All right, I'll sit in jail for a while and I'll get out. So, in the establishment of these laws of retribution, there is actually safeguarding of life, of more life than one life taken will probably save how many lives? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you might observe taqwa, that you might observe your obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So all of these, regulations are for the benefit of mankind. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no need to punish anyone. These are all for the betterment of humanity, if we could only understand. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq wa akhira da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The brothers, mashallah, who come regularly in Fajr, next Monday, which is March 29, we do a celebration welcoming Ramzan. So inshallah, Shaykh and Shaykh Farhan and the three Huffaz who will be leading the Tarawih, they will be here. So please join in and sign up. So we know how many people are coming, so we'll have dinner and iftar. So inshallah, they will have question and answers and discussion about, mashallah, coming month of Ramadan.
MashaAllah, yeah.
So especially the people who come every day, they, inshallah, try to come.
Please take note of that. We're looking forward for your attendance. Jazakumullah khair. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum.